So, Ben will cautiously continue leading Percival and the wagon towards this abandoned this old temple.
So there's no way to get the wagon up to the temple entrance. It is in this ravine cut out of the mountainside. So you will have to all descend the side and leave the cart there.
Yeah, I was figuring that. So I park it there, and for its own safety, I detach Percival from the wagon.
Okay.
In case it needs to flee or run off, it'll be unencumbered.
Okay. And there's kind of an understanding. This horse has been around. He understands what's going on. So, do you have anything on you that will help you descend into this? I know that Lug has his grappling hook and has been George of the Jungling already, so he's probably set.
I've got my 50 feet of rope with me.
Okay.
Yeah, same. Have the 50 feet of rope, so it could definitely rappel down.
Okay. So I don't think that you each need to have your own individual line down, but if that's how you want to do it and kind of go down simultaneously, that's totally fine.
We need a Rainbow Six aesthetic. SEAL Team 6 is coming down.
Oh, Liz, would you like to go down on my shoulders, or would you like to go on your own rope?
And Ren has no rope, so he's just kind of waiting for a rope to be free.
Nope, this one's taken. Nope, this one's taken.
I got the shoulder here. You just be on it. That way we both go down. You don't got to worry about no rope.
While they're talking, Ben quickly rappels down to free his rope up as quickly as possible for Ren.
Yeah, and Ren sees this and just gives Lug a thumbs up and then waits till Ben's down so he can go down.
Bing has gone down the rope.
Noticing everyone's already go down just follows.
Okay, can I have everybody, just to make sure, just for fun, let's just make athletics or acrobatics, whatever you're best at, just to make sure nobody rolls a 1.
16.
14.
Okay.
We got 11.
Okay. All right.
16 plus 5, so 21.
Okay.
For acrobatics.
All right. In your own an acrobatic bugbear. All right. In your own ways, you're able to descend the 50 feet down into the ravine without issue, and you see the twig blights above they're kind of move. In my mind, they kind of move like praying mantises a little bit. They're not attacking, but there is that like they're aware of you. So what do you want to do?
I guess we approach slowly, but try to look as probably not necessarily menacing towards them, but give it an air of for them not to do anything, not to mess with us.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's the attitude that Ben will have walking forward.
All right.
Ren is like, just keeps walking for a little bit and he just stops, having noticed that they're being watched, and gives that familiar sigh. And just says, do any of you understand us?
I understand you.
I should have seen it coming.
That's perfect.
Yep. And then Brent hears it, just goes, no, not you.
Everyone raised their hand.
The twig blights don't respond, but you hear this chittering coming from behind you as taking a surprise attack against you.
You can't get a better, easy and simple backstab like that.
Yep. All right. So Ben was the first one to approach. So they're going after him. And let's see. That is a 12. That is a 12. That is a 17 to hit.
All 3 hit.
Really?
Yeah, my AC is only 12.
Okay.
Can Lug, as a reaction, just let loose an arrow at the creature?
No, because you guys were all watching the twig blights, and the praying mantis kind of move. So that is 2, 5, 2. So I can't do math. 7 damage.
2, 5 is 7.
Yep, 7 damage.
Okay.
As 3 giant rats come out of the entrance to the Citadel. So let's roll initiative.
That is a 12.
I got a 19.
For Ben, it is 11.
Lug?
Well, I just forgot. Like, I haven't been adding my initiative bonus. So that makes mine a 16. My 13 plus 3.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I just remembered that.
That's okay. And they rolled poorly. All right. So they go last. All right. So Ren is up first.
All right. How close are they?
They are very close to you.
Within 5 feet or farther back?
Farther back.
Okay. All right. So, and there's 3 that attacked.
Yep.
The closest one we're going to go after with the dagger. And let's see, that's 15.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. So 2, 2, 4 plus 4 hits for 8.
Okay. So you... Oh, go ahead.
And well, I got 2-handed.
Okay.
Is it still up or is it take a lot?
One, yeah, the first one goes down. So dagger buries itself in one of the rat's necks,
okay.
and it goes down.
All right,
but
two-handed, so we're going to go two-handed fighting.
Yep.
Means we're going back to the crossbow for our second shot.
Yep.
So, and that one goes 17.
Yep.
And that hits for 5.
Okay. So the first one that you attacked, like I said, it goes down, dagger in the neck. The other one, the crossbow bolt buries it, or hits it in the side, badly wounded, but it's still up. Lug is up next.
Just double checking. Would you be okay with Lug attacking with the rapier and then bonus action with the dagger, or not?
So what would be giving him the bonus action? Like where would that come from?
The dagger would be the bonus action.
No, but like,
rapier.
So why would he?
Main action.
Why would he get the bonus action? Is what I'm asking. Is it part of the part of the character
because
build?
You can use a second weapon. Like, I may be remembering wrong, so that's why I'm double checking.
Yeah, unless he's got 2-weapon fighting. I don't know that he could. So I would think just for now the straight rapier, unless we know that he's got 2-weapon fighting.
Well, okay, I could have sworn like everyone had 2 weapons. It's just like, oh well. With the rapier, we'll attack. Woo! That's an 18.
That hits.
Okay. 1d8 plus 3. Okay. So 6 plus 3, that'd be 9.
Okay. Do you want to attack the one that was hit with the crossbow bolt, or the one that wasn't hit yet?
The one that wasn't hit yet.
Okay. You pierce it with the rapier all the way through, like you skewered it, and it squeals and it's dead. And you pull the blade out, blood from both entry and exit wound. It's dead. So yeah, I'm pausing because I'm not sure about the 2-weapon fighting thing now.
Oh, 2-weapon fighting?
Yeah, 2-weapon fighting, they have to be light.
Yeah,
so the rapier won't count.
Okay.
Yeah, but it has to
you have to start with the lead. Yeah.
But it has to be melee attacks, though. They can't be ranged weapons.
Okay. All right. So I've been screwing up. That's okay. So.
And that's okay, and it changes from GM to GM, so that's why I was double checking.
Yeah.
I mean, the way it works, if you have 2 weapons in your hands, like 2 daggers, it'll work.
Yeah.
If it's rapier, no, because then you have to actually. I don't know why they don't consider it. Unless you're like ambidextrous, but
Yeah.
Well, it's a one-handed weapon, and a dagger is a one-handed weapon.
But it's not considered a light weapon.
Maybe it's because the blade is so thin, and like it requires more precision. I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so
It's also considered a martial weapon, so...
yeah.
It's martial, not simple.
Okay. So Bing is up.
So how many went down?
Two are down, and one is badly wounded.
All right. I will go into full Puss in Boots mode, rapier, and let's see. Oh, that's horrible. That's an 11.
Does not hit.
Then, with my movement, I'm going to just back up about 20 feet.
Okay. Ben, you're up next.
Alright, so this rat's right on top of me?
Yep.
So, probably not able to blast on it then?
You could if you used your movement action to take a 5-foot step backwards. Like, shift backwards.
Would I take supplemental attack from the rat by doing so? Would that be just like...
No, because
Okay.
And I don't know how they do this in 5, but it's a 3.5 rule that I like. So you're sacrificing speed for safety, using so if your movement is 20, let's say you're using all of your movement just to make that 5-foot step back, and you're not taking any kind of opportunity attack for it.
All right, I will do that, and I'm going to blast that sucker right in the face if I can.
Okay.
All right. 16.
That'll hit.
All right, for 13 points of force damage.
So it's like magically just punching the rat in the face, and I think that it's so much damage that it probably, like, I want it to be launched backwards.
Oh, I forgot. I also have agonizing blast too, so that would just obliterate it.
Okay. Yeah. So I will let you describe what happens since you took all the damage.
Check something here real quick. Yeah. So it gets an additional +4, so that would be a total of 17 points damage. The Eldritch Blast hits it straight on and just drives it back into the nearest tree trunk or remainder of a column there, and what the blast doesn't kill off, the impact into the post does.
Yep. There's this wet snap as the rat's back breaks. But it's dead. It is dead. Okay, so you are out of combat again.
And I stagger as I try to straighten myself up a little bit after all three of them get the bites in on me.
Yep.
I'm definitely looking hurt.
Yeah.
Oh no, can't have that.
Listen, this is part of showing your commitment to Acquisitions Incorporated, right? Omen wants to see your willingness to sacrifice life and limb for employment.
Just not Omen.
Yeah, just not Omen.
Well,
no.
That shows you how it works.
Right?
Or any of his clones. Damn him.
Yep. All right. So the entrance to the temple, you see there are torches at the top of the stairs. So let me rewind. So there's this entryway. You approach it. There is a staircase leading down into the mountain. There are torches lining the walls, but the torches are extinguished. The what light gets into the ravine anyway is illuminating, we'll say, maybe 20 feet down the stairs, and you don't see anything there other than bones from what the rats have killed and eaten, other things that have fallen into the ravine. You would also see in the dust of the stairs going down human footprints.
How old do they appear?
Not. I mean, we'll make an investigation check.
13.
So it's difficult to tell because you're not sure when the last party came through here or who might be in here. So I think the best you would be able to say is that they're kind of recent, but you wouldn't be able to say how recent.
Okay.
Can I make a survival check to see if I can follow the tracks?
You don't even have to make that check. I mean, the footprints are going down the stairs.
Okay.
Just a check. Who has dark vision here?
Good question.
I believe. Do I? I think I do.
It's amazing tabaxi don't have dark vision.
Well, that one I can see
Oh, wait.
why, because they get lots of bonuses.
No, we do. There it is. I got 60 feet, so yeah. I forget what on the sheet it was.
Yeah, Ren has dark vision too, 60 feet.
Maybe I don't. I thought I did.
What's the race? Dragonborn? No,
Dragonborn?
does not. Dragonborn does not.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Dragonborn does not. So no, I don't.
Do you have a torch?
Yes, I do.
Haha.
For just such an occasion.
And there are the torches on the walls too that you could light.
So I will grab one of the torches off the wall and light it, rather than wasting my own supply.
Okay.
Smart.
How do you light it?
I've got a tinderbox with me.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
I'm not going to waste my fire breath on it.
Just curious.
That would have been a great waste. I'm gonna light because you can light up all the torches.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, the other thing is that some GMs rule as long as it doesn't apply damage, you can use the breath. So.
And I don't know where I am yet on that. I've never had a Dragonborn character in the party before. I got to think about this.
Tinderbox.
Yeah, let's be more conservative with it now.
Just hilarious.
Okay, so we're all set to go forward. Lead on.
All right. I have text to read from the adventure itself for you.
Okay.
So if we are in this to shill for and hype up Tales from the Yawning Portal. So a fortress emerges from the darkness. The subterranean citadel, though impressive, seems long forgotten, if the lightless windows, cracked crenellations, and leaning towers are any indication. All is quiet, though a cold breeze blows up from below, bringing with it the scent of dust and a faint trace of rot. The narrow stairs empty into a small courtyard, apparently the top of what was once a crenellated battlement. The buried citadel has sunk so far beneath the earth that the battlement is now level with the surrounding floor. That floor stretches away to the north and south, composed of a layer of treacherous, crumbled masonry, which reaches to an unknown depth. To the west looms the surviving structure of what must be the Sunless Citadel. A tower stands on the west side of the courtyard.
Okay, tower on the west. Do we see the footsteps heading towards the Citadel?
Make another survival check. Or make a survival check, I should say.
Let a 17.
You see the footsteps. Yeah, they lead off towards the tower, we'll say.
But there's no obviously there's no tracks coming back because no one's ever. So it's just tracks going towards the Citadel.
Yeah, and I think with the 17 that you would see lots of footprints around of different shapes and sizes. I don't think it's a high enough roll to be able to say that you're able to recreate like a battle was here or anything like that, right?
So I can't use my bat sense to recreate.
Yeah, if you're not going to hold left trigger to rewind, and shift around and. And anyway, Lug's already got the Batman claim here.
Well, I can be more Darkwing Duck, and you can be Batman.
Darkwing Duck with the quacks. I mean,
yeah.
Episode's available on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Sponsor us.
Yep. I was gonna make a Catwoman reference too, but Darkwing Duck surpasses it. So
yeah. And Lug had put in a couple of dead rats and the unlit torches in the horde bag.
Okay. Yep.
He's like following you now because he smells the dead rats.
Lug probably gave you one of the mice and just put the rest for the bag.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how big they are. It doesn't say in the. But okay. So as you walk into the courtyard, can you make can I have everybody make a perception check?
Oof.
That's an 11.
Got a 4.
I got a 19 plus 3, so I think that's 22.
Yep.
The math class that I did pass. Yep, that's correct.
That's good to know.
I grabbed some.
Okay. So Lug would see there is a mechanism in the center of this courtyard that is a latch to open up a trapdoor.
There would be a latch here, so I figure there's a trapdoor, and Lug pulls the lever, and
there's this mechanical sort of grinding, and this lid opens up, and you look down into the pit beneath the door, and it's a 15-foot drop, so you're not in any kind of imminent danger to what's down there. But there are you see 2 skeletons, not like animated skeletons, on the ground. There's another rat, another giant rat, and you see a dead goblin as well.
oh, dang. That's not a good sign.
Yeah.
We got dead goblin. That's not good.
And so the rat, when you opened the door, the rat was gnawing on the dead goblin, and it sees Lug looking down and starts hissing, ready to attack or defend its feast. But it's up to you guys if you want to go down there and investigate this at all.
Lug's just gonna mostly make sure. Well, there's another rat down there too, so
It's just the one rat, though.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but
Or just one that you can see.
yeah, and it's eating a goblin, which makes me think oh, this was either a death trap or this was someone trying to escape.
Well, I mean,
Who could say?
who could say?
Aren't we all trying to escape?
Yeah.
I know, we're all trying to escape this mortal coil.
Who among us has not been a
Unfortunately,
giant rat gnawing on a goblin corpse? Honestly.
How old does the corpse look?
Well, let me go check. Lug puts his head back down in there and inspects the corpse.
Okay, make an investigation check for me. Just hanging
Okay,
over.
that's not too bad. 16 plus 0.
Best that Lug could tell, that corpse looks like it's a few days old, maybe a week old.
Well, it's either it's
Still a
not too
corpse.
long. It's like maybe a couple days, maybe a week. So that's at least good news.
And it rings like the bad news is that it's a corpse.
Yeah.
You and your jokes.
Wacky old Renthral.
The jokester of the group.
Laconic to strangers, joking with his friends. I wonder why.
Oh no.
Just in case we do see goblins, let me go first.
Sounds good.
So are you gonna go
Well-
into the pit to fight the rat, or just leave it be?
Lug just is gonna let it be.
Okay.
He has no interest in wanting to go and kill something just because it's there.
Okay.
Yeah, no reason. Is there any way we can close that trapdoor?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, Michael's ahead of me. So the same mechanism starts grinding again, and the door slams shut.
The position of the trapdoor.
Uh-huh.
What is it in relation to the tower?
So the door and the pit beneath it are in the center of this courtyard.
Yeah. Okay. And the tower's over to the left. So
Towers.
it doesn't look like like a straight, direct line from the trap door to the entrance to the tower?
In my mind, it's like a 90-degree angle. So you guys are coming from the south, the tower's to the west, the pit is directly in the center of the courtyard ahead of you, and then there's more off to the east.
So there's no chance of another lever, and this is the wrong lever.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, so yeah, well, I had a character, I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
What if the guy really was trying to escape? It couldn't because that damn door wasn't open, and there's nobody up top.
I mean, we could leave it open. Is there any... From what you saw, was there... Could the rat jump out
No.
of the trap door?
I
No.
don't think so, but I can open it up to check.
No.
That won't be necessary.
Yeah, you wouldn't
Okay.
need to. It was a 15-foot drop. There would have been no way for the rat to get out.
And unless you had a grappling hook, no way to get out.
Yeah. Unless there was some means of harnessing it and lowering it out yourself. If you were an expert rat handler.
I mean, I am a tabaxi, so... We're gonna avoid the rat.
Okay.
I've had enough of rats for the meantime.
Yeah, you're not looking too good there.
Lug pulls out a chalk and writes "rat" on the ground and an error.
Okay.
Dead inside, don't open.
Yeah, but then again, they might want rats, so let's not judge.
So you write Lug adds, he writes rat inside and then thinks about it and adds like a smiley face at the end of it.
With a wink?
You
Yeah,
describe, I'm good with that.
semicolon.
Close parentheses.
Yep. Like there's a rat. Like what could that mean? Like what's the innuendo there? That there's a rat inside? That's
Oh, there's a snitch.
Is that Sammy the Bull? What the?
You dirty rat.
Brought to you in part by the Mafia. No, wait, no.
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 That's,
Well, I got an itch to go elsewhere, so where are we going next?
Besides the tower, are there any structures that look intact?
yeah. To the east, there it appears to be what would have been either the barracks portion of the Citadel or living space, but there's something that way that you can go to.
So if there's treasure that we're looking for, and it was hidden by someone that was here, probably definitely going to be underground.
Yep. As we
Most likely.
have indicated by said trap here.
Well, trap's a trap.
I know, but it indicates there's stuff below. Well, treasure elsewhere.
I say we check the barracks first, because we know no one's come back from the tower. Well, no one's come back, period. But we definitely know.
Probably not a bad idea.
Okay, and I will follow from the shadows.
From the shadows. Okay, so with Lug sort of lurking off to the side, you approach the barracks. There is a simple wooden door shut in front of you. Do you want to open it? Do you want to check it?
Let's do investigation for more traps, for door frame traps.
Okay.
Fiddlesticks and hogwash, we have a 12.
Door seems fine to you.
But if anybody else wants to check, just in case, now's the time.
I'll check. Why not? Yeah, let's see.
I will trust your skills. I have none in this area.
That's a 15.
The door is locked, but there is no trap.
Okay. Can we pick this lock?
If any of you have thieves' tools,
I do.
all right.
Go for it.
So it's a DC 15.
it's just a straight. What is it?
Sleight of hand, usually.
Sleight of hand with your. You should have proficiency with the tools too, so you would add your proficiency bonus plus whatever your sleight of hand is.
Yeah, don't you worry about that. This is big.
This is big.
It's an 18, 7, 25, proficiency 27.
Okay. Can it be canon that his thieves' tools are just his claws?
Yes, please.
Oh, yes.
The thieves' tools are just backup.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you will allow it, then yes.
He has like utility claws, like Swiss Army claws. There's a bottle opener, a flashlight.
Corkscrew.
Yeah.
That's always stinky.
Oh yeah.
Fork, knife, spoon on this side. Actually, knife, spoon on this side, fork on the other. Right?
Oh yeah. Salad. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Salad fork.
Like a salad fork. You got the cocktail. You got the cocktail fork.
You can switch between the two fingers.
He's got the thing to eat the shrimp.
That's why this is an Ack-Inc game. So you unlock the door, no problem. Inside the room that awaits you, there is a sculpture of a dragon. And as you enter the room, and it has kind of like a Chuck E. Cheese kind of vibe to it, animatronics, like bad animatronics sort of thing. The head of the dragon comes to life, and it kind of like moves side to side, but it's not really looking at you. The mouth is speaking, and it says, "We come at night without being fetched. We disappear by day without being stolen. What are we?"
Wait, what? Can you repeat that, please?
"We come at night without being fetched. We disappear by day without being stolen. What are we?"
Would it be the moon?
Well, it's a we, so it's plural.
Stars?
Yeah, stars. So Ben says stars. The dragon's mouth snaps shut, and a door appears behind the sculpture. And the door swings open.
Well, that's the easiest I would get it over. It's been all day.
So do you want to go through the door that's emerged?
Yeah, Bing's gonna go up to the edge, right to the door frame, and take a look in before going in to make sure there's like no like tripwire or anything. So is that another investigation check?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an 8.
There's no tripwire. What he does see though is that this looks like you're entering into a place that has a sort of a surprisingly like regal feeling about it. Like this is an important place that you're about to enter.
So having dark, is it lit or is it dark as well?
There are torches. It's lit.
Okay.
This is lit.
It's lit AF. All right, cool. What can you see from the doorframe inside? Is there any iconography?
You see some crude pictures of dragons carved into the wall. Immediately, like if you look straight on, you would see a wall, right? Probably 6 feet in front of you. But if you look in, the wall is more decorative. So you would see around either side of it that the wall is sort of blocking the direct entrance into a larger space. And the wall itself would be 10 feet long. And like I said, there are these crude sorts of pictures of dragons drawing on it. Kind of like graffiti-ish. Kind of like children drew it.
Can I go up to it and maybe do it like Arcana or history check to see if it's anything I recognize historic from my studies?
Yeah.
10. Pictures on the wall.
What overall?
Pretty pictures on the wall.
Oh, pretty pictures on the wall. I thought, yeah, okay.
I mean, I would argue, being a dragonborn, that maybe he would have had an advantage on that roll.
That's true. That's
As he has studied,
yeah.
Bahamut and
That yeah, as presuming to be a disciple of Bahamut, I think you would have advantage on this roll. So go ahead and roll again.
21.
So you are aware of all sorts of different cults that exist towards different dragons throughout Faerun. But what this specifically reminds you of is that it is widely believed among kobolds that they are descendants of dragons themselves, that they are sort of the true inheritance of dragon kind, and that this to you screams the presence of kobolds.
It appears we have some historical writings here reflecting the kobolds and their self-selected position as true inheritors of draconic heritage, as opposed to what we as Dragonborn tend to claim.
And Ren just goes,
See right here, this is definitely a kobold as opposed to this here, which is more draconic in nature.
Ren just goes, well, good thing you looked the part to take back your treasure, huh?
Could come in handy.
The four of you enter, walk around the wall, sort of looking at the pictures at it with the same sort of revelry as like a elementary school open house. A very specific reference for myself. and the insane amount of artwork that comes home from kindergarten. And you enter into this antechamber. There is a large cage in one corner of the room. The cage door is open. There's nothing inside of it. And on the ground, you see a couple of dead kobolds. Make a perception check for me.
Just double checking. Since you said that there might be kobold writings, would you say that there is similarities with the kobold language and goblin?
No, I would say no.
Would it be closer to Draconic, which is something else, which is a language I could read?
Yeah, Draconic, yes. Yeah, like a very simple Draconic, I would think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you still have the power to read anything, don't you?
Yeah, I've got that's right. I can read anything.
Yeah, you can read anything.
With my invocation, so anything of particular note, or is this just historical?
It's
of the kobolds.
It's not so much like historical stuff. I mean, the historical thing you would have realized that kobolds generally believe that this is true about their origins. The stuff that's written there is really like warnings, like stay back. We will kill you. There's also stuff there that's like anti-goblin. Goblins stay back. We hate goblins. Goblins suck. Like stuff like that.
Do you relay any of that to Lug?
No, I do not at this time. I want Lug just to be of his wits. I don't want his anger taking over him at this point. So I do not tell him at this point.
Okay.
All right. So now perception in the room.
Yeah, perception in the room.
Yeah, I rolled an 8.
10.
Same.
Perception is 12 plus, what's my... 17.
Okay, so only Bing hears the door in the corner click, as if there were just somebody in here and they went through the door when they heard you coming through.
Typical cat.
Yep.
Hearing everything.
So there are a couple of dead kobolds on the ground. Signs of a struggle. That would be clear. They are both. They seem to have died pretty horribly. very clearly injured. There's blood on the dust on the floor of this antechamber.
Just double checking, you mean as in there's dust on top of the kobold's body, or the kobolds are on a dusty floor?
They're on a dusty floor, and they've bled on the floor, and the blood still seems kind of fresh.
It's not clotted yet.
Yeah, it hasn't started to coagulate yet. That's what I'm looking for.
I search one of the. Hey, I'm a pharmacist. Pardon the medical lingo.
No worries.
Hey man, that's cool. That's what
I searched the nearest kobold body to see if I can find anything on it of note.
It has a dagger, and that's it.
Okay, I take the dagger and stash it in my pack for now.
Okay. The other one, if you check it, has a scimitar.
Okay, I hold it up. Does anyone want the scimitar?
No, but I'm betting if none of us can, corporate will. That's why, I got the horde bag for.
All right. Tell you what. Let me hold the scimitar for now in case I need it for melee.
Good enough. You can tell me when you want.
I will give it to you. I will give it to you when at a more appropriate time.
Good enough.
All right. So, what are you gonna do? You gonna continue through and go through the door that Bing just saw click shut, or what's the plan?
I suppose if he's told us, we'll head that direction.
Yes, I would convey that the door has been closed. As this definitive. There's no. I think I heard. I know that's the sound of a door closing.
Yep.
So there's someone in that direction. So I would start heading in that direction.
And that's the only door in the room.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Okay.
All right. Then we are Scooby-Dooing our way over there.
Yeah.
It's a good thing that Lug is in the shadows.
Yes, it is a good thing that Lug is in the shadows, and I'm going to ask you in a minute to just make a check here to see how deeply in the shadows you are. So, I'm assuming that Bing is taking point here. The door opens, and you come through, and you see this. And in the past, it might have been like a kitchen of some sort that has been reappropriated to be a throne room. And lining either side of the wall, 3 deep, armed with daggers and scimitars, are a small horde of kobolds. Directly across from you, on this throne made of probably like leftover kitchen utensils and like probably like an old kitchen chair that they've done their best to fancy up. There are pots hanging from the top of it. They have found a way to affix some silverware to the sides of it to make it look shiny. There's another kobold, and she's sitting there. She has her head in her hands, looking very forlorn. And Lug, this is a great time for you to roll either very well or very poorly on a stealth check.
Okay, so the one I rolled earlier, is that still applying, or do I need a new one?
This is a new one. Yep.
Thank you.
A new one, please.
Okay, that's not too bad. That's 11 plus 5, so 16.
Okay. At the first glimpse of what you would see as probably 25 kobolds, you have the good sense to zoink back out of there, flatten up against the wall, probably holding your breath, hand over your mouth.
Like the quiet place.
and are staying put. The remainder of the party, and you're not so far out of earshot that you'll miss everything that happens, but you're gonna have to strain to hear the remainder of this. So Ben and Bing and Renthal, you enter into this room, and very clearly, even though they're kobolds, you would be overwhelmed by facing them 4 on the 50. And the one sitting on the throne, like I said, she has her head in her hands, and she just like starts beckoning, like, come see us, gesturing you to make your approach.
So Bing's in the front. So as he sees that they are clearly outnumbered in mass, that he walks up to the one in charge in the throne, and he's being very very careful with his steps. You know, like, almost like he's like tiptoeing up to the throne, but very, very respectfully. And he just does the whole. He drops to one knee, takes his hat off, and you know, shows the reverence to the leader without saying a word.
Wait, say that last part again.
Without saying a word.
Without saying a word. Okay. She doesn't say anything either. As Ben and Renthal approach, so I need to hear what you two do.
Yeah. I follow right behind, and I make sure, since if I don't have anything on the hood, so I try to stand as erect as possible, showing off my draconic features to them as much as possible, hoping to get a positive response to them when they see that I at least look like a dragon. I may be dragonborn, but to them, hopefully, I look as close to a dragon as they've ever seen.
Okay. Make a.
And as I approach the throne with my hands showing no weapons in them, and then I bow to the throne as well.
Okay. Will you make a performance check?
Ooh, only a 6.
Okay, so some of them buy the dragon tough guy act. Others, and I don't think she buys it completely. Renthal, what are you gonna do? I hesitate to ask.
Okay, so we got 25 kobolds
on each side, yeah.
On each side, and a forlorn queen.
Yep. Who has honor guard behind her? I should also point out.
Okay.
Honor guard or color guard?
Honor guard.
Okay.
Yes.
Ren just kind of like looks at the grouping on the left, and then looks at the grouping on the right, and then kind of stands on his toes and look at the honor guard behind the queen. Then glances at Ben, and then very slowly takes a knee.
Okay. So the three of you are kind of genuflecting in your own sorts of unique ways. So she ignoring Ben, I think at first, I'm not really sure what to do with him. She says, "Why have yous come here? What is your purpose here?"
Our purpose was to find the grandeur of this temple. We've heard so many stories about it, and we just wanted to come and check it out for ourselves.
She gestures around very enthusiastically, and she says, yes, it is very grand. This is a very grand place.
Yes, we see that, but the problem, if you will allow, the problem is no one's ever been able to come back to tell stories of the grandeur of this palace.
She makes this sucking sound, like that, very aggressively, and she says, "Have yous seen goblins here?" And she spits, and when she spits, several of the other kobolds around her also, goblins.
No, Your Majesty, we have not seen any goblins around as of yet.
She says, we try to live here in peace and the goblins and their keeper, they try to take the gloriousness of this place from us.
Are you in... With all due respect, milady, are these goblins causing much trouble to you?
She says, did you see the murder outside this hall?
Yes, we did.
Did you see... Did you see the theft that occurred? Goblins have been here, and they have taken my love, and they have killed my people.
They've taken your love.
My love, my dearest's. Her name is Aggie. She's my pet. And you see her starting to get choked up. Like, very, like, a little verklempt here, you know?
Being like, puts his right hand out, pulls out a handkerchief from his pocket.
Oh, I thought you were going to say from his sleeve. And just keeps going on and on.
No, from his pocket. And he, if I may approach, hands her the handkerchief in case you get too emotional speaking about this.
She snatches it from you, and then she blows her nose, and it's very loud and wet. Very like a honk, and there's like a honk sound. You're right. And then when she's done with it, she just throws it over her shoulder.
Thank you for that.
under Renthrall's breath, you can hear her mutter, one handkerchief.
Yeah, I mean, he would be keeping receipts, I think, figuratively and literally. Seems to be the kind of documancer that Renthrall would be.
So
how many goblins are under the thrall of this leader that have been attacking people?
So you ask the question, and some of the honor guard behind them, like, they kind of have this, like, oh crap kind of look on their faces, and kind of like look away. Yeah, it's very much like when I ask a question in class, and students will kind of like get that far off, like, I just got back from Vietnam. Please don't call on me kind of look on their face, because they didn't do the reading. And if that's you listening to this right now, like, I know you didn't do the reading. And she says, my scoutings have been subpars. I can't get a straight answers about how many goblins, filthy goblins, are over there. Every time we defeat some of them, there's more goblins. And then she kind of thinks for a second, and she says, but yous have found us at the right time. Maybe this is a sign from all of the dragons that we should seek the helps of this one. And she gestures at Ben, and she says, ordinarily, for your disturbings us in our home, I would have my army slaughters you now, and we would feast upon your bloods. But now maybe this is a sign. And so if you can go and you can waylays as many of these filthy goblins, and she spits again, and a bunch of the other kobolds all spit too, and find my Aggie and bring Aggies back to me, we will let you leave this place in peace. And she makes that, there's kind of like a Miss Piggy kind of like humph afterwards. Yes. Thank you.
Ben slowly rises to his feet. He says, "Because of our common heritage, I would be more than glad to take upon this task, and perhaps together we can rid the land of this goblin scourge once and for all."
She... How racist is she? I don't know. I don't want to.
Look is very tempted just to get out its shadows and die, just to respond.
Just
like that's how tough this is to hold back.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. She. Yeah. She was. I was gonna do this rant anyway. And just having a goblinoid there works.
Look there, but that's splitting hairs.
Yeah.
Second cousin twice removed.
Yeah. So she looks at Ben and like hearing the way that you talk, and she like shakes her head and she says, "I don't know who thinks you're foolings with this. You try to talk like them. But this is not a discussions now." And she holds her hand up like this. Like she's trying to center herself. You lead them with whatever dragons is in you, and you destroy all goblins as that you can see. Bring me Aggie. And if you find their keeper and brings him to me, we will be most appreciative.
I think that is a fair trade, my lady.
It is. Wheeze is known for our fairness.
Ben puts his hand up to his chest like this. "As it is spoken, it shall be done."
This is the way.
This is the way.
So say we all.
All right. So the kobolds will allow you to leave this honored hall of theirs without incident. And you find Lug maybe a little bit blue in the face from holding his breath for the last few minutes.
Like roughly, like you'd see kind of like the veins, almost like he's wanting to see him. We can
see the steam coming out of your ears, literally.
Yep.
Well, it's not a fire, Ganashi, but it's almost that red.
Yep.
It's like Martin Sheen popping up from Pop-Ups now. Out of the shadow, he just pops up, he's like...
Yep. Yeah. So the door clicks shut behind you. Well, actually, a couple of the they wouldn't come out. I don't want to have that fight right now. I don't want to deal with this. So they would wait for all of you to leave for my sake, and because it's 1 a.m. here. For my sake, they're not going to come out to collect the kobolds who are dead before you. And so, assuming that you don't make any further investigation or return the weapons to them, now that you know a little bit of the story, I'll leave that up to you guys to decide. You return to the central chamber.